Hey everybody, this is your Digital Super Saiyan 3 back here with a new video, and yes, I am sporting a Rock t-shirt. And now, I'm actually going to finally tackle this show. I was gonna plan to tackle this show on Thursday, but, I kinda got sidetracked, so sorry in advance. But now I'm finally gonna do it, my January pay-per-view review. From the month of January, I'm tackling the 2000 Royal Rumble, live from Madison Square Garden. And it took place on January 23rd in the year 2000. So yes, from Madison Square Garden. Royal Rumble 2000 is declared one of the greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-views of all time. Heck, it's definitely in the top tier, the S tier of great WWE pay-per-views. This one ranks really, really high of greatest WWE pay-per-views of all time, or WWE/WWF. It's really, really high. It's among two of the best Royal Rumbles, and alongside Royal Rumble 2001. So it's like both 2000 and 2001 are two of the best Royal Rumbles, hands down by the fans, as the fans chose both this and the 2001 Royal Rumble as the two best Royal Rumbles. So, what does the World Wrestling Federation have for us here on this show? Well, let's find out. And yes, the commentary team consists of Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. So, we open with Kurt Angle coming out as he is having a match against an opponent that is to be announced. Yes, that's right. Kurt Angle is taking on an opponent that is to be announced. And Kurt Angle comes out, he cuts a promo, he talks crap about how the New York Knicks have never won a championship, and he talks bad about Patrick Ewing, and says, maybe then I could be your champion for tonight, Because I've never been pinned or submitted, and I'm an Olympic gold medalist. I love how Kurt Angle, during his early days in the WWF, always cut promos before his matches. And then of course, we hear a heart monitor go off. We hear a beep, 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 and then out comes Taz. Boom, 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 boom. So yes, this is Taz's debut in the WWF. And he takes on Kurt Angle in this 3-minute match. This match went about 3 minutes, but it was a fun 3 minutes for this match. It was a lot of suplexes because both Angle and Taz both use suplexes. The match ends when Taz chokes out Kurt Angle. Like, Kurt Angle doesn't pass out or tap out. No, he gets choked out. Taz wins via referee stoppage as Taz chokes out Angle. This is Taz's best match when he came over to the Federation, because after this, Taz didn't really have anything else good on his plate. Besides the fact that, this was Taz during the latter half of his career, and neck injuries were starting to, quote-unquote, slow him down. So, yeah, this was Taz's best match in the Federation. So, we cut backstage as Michael Cole is interviewing the Hardy Boys and Terry Runnels. And Michael Cole, was showing clips of both the Hardys and the Dudleys putting each other through tables, and then Terry Runnels is Terry Runnels, while wearing this black robe, says, we are going to definitely rock the house in MSG. And then Jeff is like, Terry, we don't want you out here with us to deal with the Dudleys. Those Dudleys are crazy. And Matt is there agreeing with Jeff. And then we get into our next match. It's a tag team tables match. You're right. as the Hardys take on the Hardy Boys take on the Dudley Boys in a tag team tables match where the only way to win is to put both men from each team in through the tables. So yeah, this is the best tag team tables match, one of the better tag team tables matches I've ever seen. This was much better than the one from TLC 2012, as well as the one from Royal Rumble 04. This was how you do it, where both team members have to go through a table instead of just one. I mean, the Dudleys and the Hardys used everything but the kitchen sink. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention... Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention before the match started, the Dudley Boys came out first and they cut a promo telling New York, how dare you root for those punks, those pretty boy punks, the Hardy Boys, you know? And I gotta say, Bubba Ray Dudley is probably the most underrated mic talker in the history of this business. Bubba Ray is probably the most underrated mic talker. So yeah, all four of these men just beat the shit out of each other. We saw ladders being used, chairs, tables, of course, since the table was the most important thing. The match ends when Jeff Hardy puts Devon through a table after delivering a swanton from the top of a balcony. Really good match. Next up, we get into the Miss Rumble 2000 Bikini Contest. Oh yes, did I forget to mention there's a bikini contest? You have Terry Reynolds. That's right, we just saw Terry Reynolds being along with the Hardys in an interview, and she's competing in this bikini contest alongside the likes of Jacqueline, Ivory, BB. Who is BB? Well, it's short for Barbara Bush, who only makes her one and only appearance in the WWF. And, of course, you got the cat, as Jerry Lawler says, here, kitty, 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 as he cat calls her. And yes, I forgot to mention, he was married to the cat. Yes, Jerry Lawler was married to this younger woman. And I don't want to get into too much in that. The judges for this thing were former WWF Tag Team Champions Jimmy Valiant, Tony Garea, the former WWF Champion Sergeant Slaughter, Hall of Famers The Fabulous Moolah, and Classy Freddie Blassie. Yes, Classy Freddie Blassie was on this show. And, of course, rounding out the judges was Andy Richter from the Conan O'Brien Show. Now, oh wait, I forgot one other person competing in this bikini contest, Luna Vachon. Okay, so Ivory was first to show off her bikini, and she was wearing this blue bikini, and Ivory was a little hesitant, but she showed it off. Then Terry went, then Jacqueline, then BB, and then it was Luna's turn, but then Luna's like, no, I do not want to show myself in the bikini, and Jerry Lawler's like, okay. And then the cat went, and she showed off her bikini, but it was a bikini made of freaking bubble wrap. But then, out comes Mae Young. That's right, Mae Young made herself a last-minute entry into this contest, and she shows off her bikini, and oh my god, I really want to puke when I think of that. And then she flashes the crowd, and Mae Young was made the victor of the bikini contest. That's right. Mae Young was made the victor of the Miss Rumble 2000 bikini contest, and then she wants to continue to flash the crowd, and then Mark Henry's coming back to cover Mae Young up. It's just gross. But anything with Mae Young by this point would be considered gross. Yeah, and Jerry Lawler continues to mention Mae Young all throughout the night. Alright, so now we come to backstage as Chris Jericho and Chyna are arguing over who gets to wear the IC title because they are co-champions. Yes, that's right. For the one and only time, two people are co-champions of a singles title, and it was the IC title, as both Chyna and Chris Jericho are both co-champions. And now we get it, and then Earl Hebner comes up and says, "Hey, you guys are on now," and now we hit the ring, and Hardcore Holly comes out, and then Chyna comes out, and then Chris Jericho comes out, and we get into a triple threat match to determine the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. So, it's Chyna versus Chris Jericho versus Hardcore Holly. And this was an okay IC title match. Not one of the greatest IC title matches ever, but it was actually a very okay match. It was a really good match, to say the least. This would probably be the fourth best match on the... No, the fourth best match... This would probably be the fifth best match on this show. Probably behind the Rumble itself. And this was a really fun match to watch. I mean, despite I'm not the biggest fan of Bob Holly, I gotta say this match was really fun to watch. Like, he kicked out of Chyna hitting the pedigree on him, but in the end it was Jericho who won with the acai moonsault and his bulldog. So, in the end, it was Chris Jericho that ended up becoming the Intercontinental Champion. The undisputed Intercontinental Champion. Next up, we go for the WWF Tag Team Championships as the New Age Outlaws defeat the Acolytes to retain the tag team titles in probably the worst match on this entire show. In terms of match-wise, yes, this was the absolute worst match on this show. I mean, the Outlaws beat the Acolytes after help from X-Pac, after X-Pac came out and gave the assist to the Outlaws, and the Outlaws ended up retaining their titles. Alright. So now it's time for the title match in one of the most brutal WWF title matches in the history of the WWF Championship. A street fight pitting Cactus Jack against the champion, Triple H. Okay. So in the build-up to this show, Foley had been kayfabe fired by Triple H and Stephanie, and the entire WWF roster, the entirety of the WWF superstars, demanded that Triple H and Stephanie meet their demands or they would walk. All the superstars would be ready to walk out on their candy asses if Mick Foley is not reinstated. And so, with no choice, Triple H and Stephanie reinstated Mick Foley. And a match was made. A street fight at the Royal Rumble. Now, after the beating that Triple H had given Mankind on Raw, Mankind on SmackDown said, the one thing Mankind is not ready to do is face you at the Royal Rumble in a street fight. But the WWF fans deserve a substitute in that match. And I think you know the guy. And then Foley takes off the Mankind mask and Mankind's jacket and reveals his Cactus Jack getup. And he said, His name is Cactus Jack, as Foley had metamorphosized into his Cactus Jack persona. And we had not seen Cactus Jack in a while. So, yeah, how long do you think we haven't seen Cactus Jack? It had been since 1998. That was the last time anyone saw Mick Foley as Cactus Jack, because he had spent most of 98 and 99 as Mankind. And now we get into the street fight. Cactus Jack comes out first, and then Triple H and Stephanie come out, and then Triple H waves Stephanie to the back. He sends Stephanie to the back because he does not want Stephanie at ringside. And now the street fight is on. No disqualifications, no countouts. This was an incredible, violent, bloody brawl. I loved how they battled through the crowd. They battled over by the set. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, this set was really cool. Definitely in my list of favorite pay-per-view setups of all time. I would do a list of my top 20 WWE/WCW pay-per-view sets, and this pay-per-view set from the 2000 Royal Rumble looked great. It looked like a New York alleyway with these metal doors with the WWF symbol on top, and also a yellow taxi cab that hangs over the doors from the rafters behind the Royal Rumble sign. It's just a really, really good set. And now we see wooden pallets be used, we see trash cans, we see a wooden 2x4, handcuffs, as yes, Triple H handcuffs Cactus Jack. We see Triple H hit Cactus Jack more than once with a steel chair, giving us flashbacks to last year's Royal Rumble from '99. And then The Rock comes in from a run-in and wails Triple H in the face with a steel chair. The police end up uncuffing Cactus Jack, and then the match ends in the ring with a bloody Triple H giving Cactus 2 pedigrees, and the second one onto thumbtacks. Triple H gets the win and retains the WWF Championship. And Triple H was not only bleeding from his head, but he also had a puncture wound in his quad. I know, he was bleeding from his leg as well. He had a puncture wound from his leg. So, Triple H is having to be stretchered out of the arena, and before he can be stretchered out, Mick Foley attacks Triple H post-match. He wheels Triple H back into the ring, and then wails Triple H one last time with the 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire. Damn, this was a great match. And now we get into it. Now we get into the most important part of the Royal Rumble. Well, the Royal Rumble match itself. This year's Rumble, the 2000 Rumble. Man, oh man, a lot of recognizable faces in this. This definitely beats the crap out of the 99 Rumble because, well, the 99 Rumble was mostly about Austin and McMahon. The 2000 Rumble, it has a rough start, but gets better as it goes on. There's a lot of recognizable faces. You got The Rock, Big Show, Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hotty, Grandmaster Sexay, Headbanger Mosh, Kane, X-Pac, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, Farouk and Bradshaw, Chris Jericho, Chyna, the Big Boss Man, may he rest in peace, Ray Traylor, the British Bulldog, who also may he rest in peace, and yes, the British Bulldog, I forgot to mention, was in this Rumble. Both Crash Holly and Hardcore Holly were also in this match. And And of course, did I already say Kane? Yeah, of course Kane was in this match. And of course, Prince Albert. I forgot to mention Prince Albert and Viscera were in this match, as well as Gangrel and Edge and Christian. Oh yeah, Edge and Christian were also in this match. I forgot to mention Edge and Christian. So, a lot happened in this Rumble. You had this segment where all three members of Too Cool, which had Rikishi, Scotty, and Grandmaster Sexay, aka the late great Brian Christopher, who is also known as Jerry Lawler's son. They all have this famous dance moment where all three members of Too Cool were dancing in Madison Square Garden. And then Rikishi just sort of turned on both of his teammates and threw them out of the Rumble. Bob Backlund even... Oh, I forgot to mention Bob Backlund even competed in this Rumble. The Final Four came down to Kane, X-Pac, The Big Show, and The Rock. Now, okay, X-Pac had eliminated Kane. Then The Rock, I believe, eliminated X-Pac. And then it just came down to The Rock and The Big Show. Now, The Big Show attempts to throw The Rock out. And then The Rock grabbed the top rope. And then Big Show and Rock tumbled out, but only The Big Show hit. And The Rock stumbled back into the ring, and The Rock was declared the winner of the 2000 Royal Rumble. Of course, Rock then was about to cut a promo. He was saying his catchphrase, "If you smell what The Rock is..." And then right before he was about to say what The Rock is cooking, The Big Show came back out and attacked The Rock. And then, of course, the show ends. So, Royal Rumble 2000. Final thoughts? Well, rewatching the show, it was an incredible show. It was definitely a really good show. And yes, it's a shame that some of the people who were in the Royal Rumble from the 2000 Rumble are no longer with us, like the Boss Man and the British Bulldog. God damn you, Ultimate Warrior. If you had never came to WCW, the British Bulldog would never have suffered the way he did with that back injury. He would not have gotten addicted to painkillers if you would never have come to WCW and did what you did at Fall Brawl with that stupid trapdoor and Bulldog taking a series of bumps. You ruined the British Bulldog's career, Warrior. I will not forget that. Anyway, this has been your Digital Super Saiyan 3, and I will see you guys next time for my February show, In Your House, Rage in the Cage. See ya!